This is Vicki Lee Ross, the woman whose body was found wrapped in an electric blanket. Today we'll talk about her story and how her case was solved. In 1987, Vicki was working as a 20-year-old cashier in Colorado. She was known as fun-loving and as a bright person. Unfortunately, on April 3, a missing persons report was filed for her. She was last seen at 9 p.m. on April 2 when Vicki's aunt observed her drive away from her grocery store shift. Her family knew that she planned to visit her grandparents shortly after, but when she never arrived, they knew something was wrong. 4 days after the missing persons report was filed, on April 7, 1987, Colorado Springs police responded to a report of a suspicious-looking car parked near a city cemetery. Inside the car, the police found a horrific scene. Vicki's body was wrapped up in an electric blanket. There was blood on her mouth and scratches as well as bruises on her face. In addition, several of her nails had been ripped out of her fingers. There were no signs of a struggle in the car, however, so it was believed that she was killed somewhere else and dumped in the car. A few animal hairs, which were determined to not belong to Vicki, were found with her body. During the autopsy, it was determined that she had died from asphyxia or the state of being deprived of oxygen, meaning she had been strangled. It was also found that she had been assaulted. Vicki's community was eager to get her justice and investigators immediately got to work. They started by finding out who she was with before her death. They found out that Vicki had gone to a party hosted by her friend Marilyn. Marilyn told investigators that she remembered Vicki speaking to a man named Norman Wiegand and that she had seen them leave together. Wiegand was brought in for questioning right away and he did say that the pair had gone home together. However, Wiegand stated that she only stayed till 2 a.m. and that she had left without him. Police were not convinced and looked into his background. They learned that he had a very troubled past and that he had multiple SA allegations. He had even served some time in jail for one of these incidents. During the questioning, Wiegand also told investigators that he had a girlfriend, which prompted investigators to ask for her side of the story. She told them that Wiegand had told her he was not feeling well on the night of April 2. She explained that he was acting very odd. One thing that stood out to her was that he would not take off his shirt when he went to bed. This was out of the ordinary for him, as normally, he would sleep without clothes. She herself felt something was wrong at the time due to his behavior and was able to get a glance up his shirt, noting that she saw scratch marks on his skin. Additionally, she spotted blood on the sheets, and when she asked Wiegand about it, he told her that his dog was in heat. Investigators were excited at the mention of the dog as there were animal hairs found with Vicki's body. Sadly, the animal hairs were soon established to be those of a cat, and Wiegand did not own a cat. Investigators and police still firmly believed that Wiegand had committed the crime but were left without solid evidence, especially considering that Wiegand did not own a cat. Feeling frustrated and without any more leads to look into, they turned to his neighbors. When talking to the woman that lived above him, investigators were informed that she shared a storage space with him and that one of her electric blankets was missing. Most incriminating of all, she also owned a cat who would sleep on the blanket. This discovery propelled the investigation forward, and with the information about the neighbor's cat and blanket, police were able to arrest Wiegand on April 14. Still, officials needed a bit more evidence to fully convict him. They had crime scene technicians spray luminol on Wiegand's bed and found blood spatter. They also located a fingernail under his bed. This would be solid proof that he had murdered her if they could match the nail to her finger, but to do that, they'd have to do something extreme. They'd have to exhume, or dig up her body from the grave. Although it was a hard thing to do, exhumation was approved by Vicki's family. The torn nail was ultimately found to be a match. In March of 1998, Wiegand pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 46 years. He died of a heart attack in 2014. So, why did he do it? Well, it may have been over just $30. Vicki's ex-boyfriend told police that she and Wiegand had only become friends because she could get him cocaine. Both Vicki and Wiegand took these drugs, and Wiegand once lent her $30 to buy some. She did not pay it back, and people that knew Wiegand stated that he would go into a fury talking about the money she owed him. Investigators theorize that a fight over this money led to this tragedy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories.